Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life Show, streaming live from our hometown, Houston, today. Now, when you hear the word chronically, do you automatically associate it with chronic disease? I know we all do. It's been programmed right into us. But, what if we flip the whole idea on its head? Let's rediscover how we can create chronic health in our bodies, in our minds, our finances, our relationships, of course, in our lives. So let's jump right on in. I'm Andy, and joining me here is my partner, Min Wong.
Hey, my name is Minna, and we are now into March. And you know what? The Houston Rodeo just started, and you remember we went there for the first time in our lives last year. What do you remember about it? What was so memorable about it?
I think what I remember most about it is when we talked to our chiropractor friend, she convinced us to buy cowboy boots because she says you can't go to rodeo without cowboy boots. And then we have to also buy like cowboy hats. So now we got cowboy hats and we got cowboy boots that we wore once so far. So, I know we're going next week to see New Kids on the Block. So I'm excited to wear the hat and the boots again next week.
It was actually an interesting experience. I gotta say, those boots are not very comfortable. But we did a lot of rodeo. That was actually very interesting, and it's a lot more athletic than I thought cowboys actually are. So I actually looked up the history of rodeo and the cowboys. And as you may know, Texas, as a state, at some point, it was part of Mexico. And rodeo actually came from the Spanish word rodea, which means to encircle or to round up. And that's exactly what these vaqueros do, right? You remember those lassos, like the ropes they throw around. They're riding these wild horses and bulls. But did you know that historically, these vaqueros, they would go from ranch to ranch and pick up various different gigs. And in between gigs, they would do all these different rodeo sports. So really, they are the original freelancers. The lifestyle that we all about, their lifestyle is all about farm animals and rodeo sports. Isn't that interesting?
That is totally interesting. And I got to tell you, those guys are a little bit crazy. Riding on those horses and, roping up those bulls and, and I think last year we saw one of them get, I think he didn't catch it right and it got caught in his arm and he was dragged and it was scary. He was like being flung around by the horse and I was like, that's what they do for a living. I thought that's insane. But one of the other things that we thought on the rodeo was they had all the high school, all the kids. Yeah, and I was wondering what's going on. They have all these kids lined up in this line. And then they let these small cows or bulls, whatever, and they start running after them, and the kids are chasing them down and wrestling them down with the ropes and everything. I thought it was hilarious, but yeah, this is Texas. Like this is very new to us in the 2 years we've been here, and it's been amazing. We've got some really cool things that we can see here.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about a chronically healthy lifestyle. This is definitely a different lifestyle. I mean, I grew up in Hong Kong. There's no horse, there's no cows in the entire Hong Kong. And this is really new to me because as kids, I didn't know that you can actually chase after a bull. If I see a bull, I'm going to run. So this is like the exact opposite. And what it tells me is you can raise your family differently so that they can have a healthier life. I'm sure that the way I grew up wasn't at all healthy. I don't think you are either.
I agree. We talk about how you're brought up, you follow and model after your family, and definitely having an active lifestyle, being a cowboy, right? I think that is totally exciting. And just one more thing I want to share on the rodeo. We talk about the little kids, but then we had those 3 to 5 year olds,
the little babies,
and they get them to wrap around these little, what were they? Were sheep or little cows? I don't even know what they were.
Sheep.
I think they were sheep, right?
Very fluffy.
Right. And they just basically wrapped around and then see how long they could hold on to. And it's frightening. I was scared watching them because I don't even know I can hold on to the sheep. And these guys are anywhere from 3 years old to like 7 years old or something crazy like that. So it's definitely a different lifestyle. It's definitely very active, which I think is great because you build responsibility. you get respect with the animals, and you build up that connection with the animals, of nature, and of course community, right? It's such a big community.
Right, you learn to deal with your fear early on in your life. You know how to overcome different obstacles. So I think it's a great learning experience.
I so agree, and it's like it runs for more than a week, right? It's
apparently cowboys, like when they enter the rodeo competitions, they make a lot of money. So it's actually really profitable gig, or as a job, I guess. This is what they do.
From my understanding, the best ones they make easily over 6 figures, right?
Yeah. So you would think that, hey, cowboys, they don't make any money. That's not true at all.
Well, coming from the Bay Area, 6 figures, man, you need to be engineer over here. If you want to be 6 figures, you're going to be a cowboy, and you get all fit while you're doing it. I think that's just so funny and cool at the same time.
Yeah.
So after the short break, we're going to be giving you a quick biohacking tip, and then we'll talk about centurions. Do you know what centurions are?
Centurions or centurions?
Yeah, am I pronouncing it wrong? People that live basically more.
Centurions.
Centurions.
Centurions are the people that live past 100.
Okay, there you go. Centurions. People that live past 100. That's what we're going to be talking about in certain parts of the world. We'll see you soon.
LifeWaves X39. This is a patch that activates your stem cells to a younger, healthier state to give you a whole new level of vitality. The patch works by using phototherapy to elevate a peptide in the body that normally declines with age. The benefits are numerous. The X39 patch will improve your energy and sleep, reduce your pain, smooth out the appearance of lines and wrinkles in your skin, and support faster wound healing, just to name a few. And the best part? X39 works no matter where you place it on your body. Our studies were based on 2 locations. The first one is at the base of your neck, as you see here. The other location is just below the belly button, as shown here. But remember, you really can place it anywhere. Be sure to apply the patch to clean, dry skin in the morning. You can wear the X39 patch for up to 12 hours. Stay well hydrated while you're using it. LifeWaves X39. You have to experience it to believe it.
Hey, this is Minna from Chronically Healthy Life. So we talk about salt, sugar, oils. There's one really important element in your life that everybody needs, and it's not necessarily as clean as you think it is. And of course, today I'm talking about water. So how much water do you normally drink a day? So standard guideline is, let's say you're 150 pounds for instance, right? You divide that by 2, which you get 75. So on an average daily basis, you should be taking in 75 ounces of water. That's probably like 9 glasses of this, roughly. So if you're drinking 9 glasses of these and there's a lot of toxins in there, that's probably not very good for you, right? See, the thing is, if you're drinking water and you see these little brown things running around, you know that the water is no good. You're not going to drink it, right? But the thing is, when it's clear, you can't tell what's in there. So what I did is actually went to ewg.org, and they have a tap water site. And I looked at the water where I am. And there are, look at this. I print this out because there's 5 different toxins that is above health guidelines. Now, it's still legal, but legal doesn't mean it's safe. So what we do for our home is that we have a water softener in the garage that is a softener and also a carbon filter. So that would take care of all our washing dishes, brushing teeth, showers, stuff like that. But for drinking water, we actually do take an extra step. We have a reverse osmosis system here, and we also have another system upstairs that we know and trust it. And we know that it's taking out all the toxins, but it leaves all the trace minerals that we know that is healthy for you. So how do you know? You can, do what I did. You go to ewg.org/tapwater, I think, and you can look that up. Or you can get like a water tester, and that should tell you, that would give you a really good idea what it is. So you would think that, okay, Texas, right? Groundwater is pretty not safe. I look up where we used to live in California, and check this out. There's 9 different types of toxins, different stuff, but all this telling you is pretty much if you're living in like a city or a more populated area, it's probably pretty safe that your water is not as clean as you think. Even when you're buying bottled water, it may not be as clean as you think. I don't think they're actually doing all the filtering to take care of the arsenic and all the chromium and all that bad stuff in the water. So what you want to do is, first of all, check your water quality and then decide what you want to do. But make sure, because you are drinking a lot of water, especially in the future when you talk about water fasting, coming episode. So make sure your water is clean, because this is probably one of the most important things in your life. Talk to you later. Welcome back to Chronically Healthy Life. Now, we talked about how our bodies are under attack and their toxins litter in our environment. And water, of course, is one of the things in our environment. So, it contains all sorts of chemicals and toxins that you wouldn't even imagine is in our clear water. So give it a try. Go to ewg.org/tapwater and look up where you live, how good or how bad your water is. So, hey, if you want to live a truly healthy, vibrant, energetic life, we have to step up and take some major steps to take care of our bodies, right? So where should we start?
Well, there are actually a lot of studies about people who live in the blue zones, and I think that's going to be a great place to start today. People that live there, they typically live to be 90 or even over 100 years. And
centenarians, guys. The teacher here, centenarians.
Well, they are the people in the blue zone, and then they concentrated in 5 areas. And once again, I'm gonna probably just mess this up, but it's like in the Nicoya Peninsula, I believe in Costa Rica, in Oligastro in Sardinia, Italy, Icaria in Greece. I knew about the Greece one. Okinawa in Japan, but the one I didn't know about is the Seventh-day Adventists in Loma Linda, right in California, like right where you're very close to where you live, Chris.
Yeah.
So,
very close.
I'm just so surprised that even within the U.S., there's someone that is living close to 100, and we all know that we have the SAD diet, which is the standard American diet. So that really surprised me that you can have a long life and a healthy life at that. But from my understanding, a lot of the things they're eating mainly a vegan diet, mainly just fruits and vegetables. And, I think it's actually really good for us, because this tells us that even though we're surrounded by toxins and bad foods, we have the ability to live to be 100. And I think that's amazing.
It really is. It is amazing. But, diet isn't the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think stress is a huge factor, especially in America. And that if we can find ways to de-stress that are easy and natural, that is really helpful in achieving longevity. So, I mean, how many times does the world crash in on us? We come home from work and then we have to do chores and we have to feed the kids and we have to help them with homework and we have to do 8 million other things before we can even go to bed.
That is so true.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm totally stressing out over tax season right now.
The dreaded tax season.
So, but what did you say, Nina?
So is tax season stressing you out? I know your mom's stressing you a little bit, right?
Yeah. Drama. Yeah, I have an 84-year-old 2-year-old on my hands.
Are you comfortable sharing why you're a little bit stressed out and what's going to be happening in the next little while?
Well, so in addition to having, my mother's ill with congestive heart failure, and although she is on the mend, I will say, so yay. And but we are moving from San Diego to Katy, Texas. So that's why you can see that my bookcase is stripped, and what you can't see are all the packed boxes over there. in my office. So, yeah, just a little stress.
So what are some simple ways to improve your life, Christy?
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in tiny little bite-sized steps of that are easy to implement and don't stress me out more, because I can't do I have to go to the gym for 2 hours every day. I can't do that. I don't have the time, first of all. So what I do is I work things in, and the absolute easiest thing to do is to take walks. You don't need any special equipment. You don't need to be anywhere. You just walk out the door and breathe. And I usually, if I'm working, I'll set my phone for 45 minutes. And when it goes off, I go take a little walk, just like 10 minutes.
Nice.
And yeah, and it adds up over the day. It ends up being like an hour, or depending on how much I was working, or after I'm done working, I might take a longer walk, and it just really helps. And the other thing is that I love walking. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, why don't you run?" Because I hate running. I detest it. I know if you love to run, you run, but you should do what you love to do, what feels good to your body, because otherwise it just stresses you out more. And so another thing that for me is swimming. Get me in a pool. I'm happy. I'll just stay there. Just leave me alone. I'll be good. So how about you guys? Do you find that it's much easier to stick to something when you're enjoying it?
Oh, definitely. I'm like you. I cannot run. I feel like my brain's mushing apart when I start running. So that's a no-no for me. For me, it's more like yoga, meditation, whatever feels good for me that day. And really, it depends on that day that I feel like doing different things. Sometimes you dance a little bit or you stretch a lot. From Mueller, this guy here is a personal trainer as well. So I have all these tools that I mostly don't use.
I'm looking forward to being in Katie, where I can use Andy as a tool.
Come over anytime.
Personal training tool. Yeah.
Absolutely, anytime. I think the movement is so important, and what you talked about, doing something that you love and enjoy, that is the key.
It is so key. And Minna, you said meditating, and meditating, I have found that I can meditate like early in the morning. I like to meditate when I'm still relaxed from bed and I'm still just and I can let it go. But during the day, if I'm out on a walk, I found that I call it meditation in motion. So I don't put in my earphones and listen to music or anything else, or podcasts or anything. I try to focus on, for me, I like to listen to the birds. And if I go to the lake and walk, or down to the ocean and walk, I like to listen to the nature, and it helps me just, so I call it a walking or a meditation in motion. And for me, when I swim, it's really easy because, there isn't you're just breathing.
You have to breathe when you swim.
It's an important little skill there. So I think that is a huge deal for longevity, just to, and plus you're enjoying it. How much time are you spending doing it? You got to love it. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, totally. I mean, we both meditate separately. We don't meditate together. Meditation for us is really just about the time being alone and really just clearing my brain. There's so much going on in my brain all day long that it needs to rest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of like your body needs to rest after you exercise.
Totally.
And your brain has to rest too. Yeah.
And the studies also found that in the blue zones, one of the reasons why these blue zones are so tight knit, they almost like a really small area, is that these communities they tend to be smaller, but they're tight knit. They're more supportive. Mm-hmm. So some of these like farming communities where they can swap the crops with each other and they support each other that way, The one in California is a small religious group, and I would assume that they are very supportive and they work together as a team. So living in a smaller, supportive community really does play a part in your longevity.
I agree. The tribe is so important. And even for us, we're always trying to build up the tribe that we want to be supported in and what we believe in. And I think that's very interesting that they also tend to do what's called almost like a long-term calorie restriction, which also helps with the longevity. So many of them, they do intermittent fasting, and some of them, they may fast even for a few days. A few days out of the month, and some of it's because of religious practice, or some of them are they just aren't eating as often throughout the day. And rather than eating for every few hours, they may be just eating in a short 6 to 8 hour window. And you're not eating, your body's resting for that 12 to 16 hours, which is so important for resting and digesting, and it's so important for your immune health. And one of the things that me and Minna, we like to do is we do this extended water fast twice a year, which is 5 days at a time. And, we're going to talk about this later on in the show, but literally just 5 days, it's just black coffee, green tea, or water. And so many scientific studies have shown the benefits of fasting, including longevity, autophagy, all these big words we're going to share with you later.
I gotta say, I don't like it, but we do it anyway because I know it's good for our health. And studies also find that the people in the blue zones, even when they do eat, they follow the 80% rule. And they eat until 80% full, and then they stop. Now, here's the thing. My dad, he grew up in a family with 14 kids. So he learned to eat really, really fast. Otherwise, there's nothing left for him, right? And he passed that practice on to me and my sister. So we all eat really, really fast. And that's actually not good for our bodies. It's not good for your digestion. It takes time for our stomach to send signals to our brain and tell our brain that we're full and stop eating. So that process takes time. So when we eat too fast, we tend to overeat. So it is good practice to actually slow down your eating. And one way to do that is to count the numbers of times that you chew. It forces you to slow down your eating and really helps with your digestion.
I think that's a great tip. We just want to share with everyone that your body, it has this amazing innate ability to repair itself when you properly support it. I've experienced it. We help many others experience it to fight off cancer and diseases, to helping them live a healthy, chronically healthy life. And as we can see, it's happening in the blue zones. So I'm very excited for our next guest, Freddie Frederick. He's going to be telling you a little bit more about the importance of your hormones and how it can provide you to be looking not only to look and feel younger. Sorry about that. You don't want to miss this interview. We'll be right back with Freddie. Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. Today's guest on the show is Freddie Frederick. And the first time I met you, I thought that was a joke because Freddie Frederick. Anyways, he's the owner of Forever Young in Katy. Hi, Freddie. Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. How are you?
Good. Andy, it is such a pleasure to be back again. Thank you very much.
That is so awesome. Can you share a little bit more about yourself and, what Forever Young is all about?
Yeah. So I'm a vet. I'm a West Point grad, so I always like to talk about those things. I don't always eat the best, but I do try to eat well. So your guys' talk touched me a little bit. Forever Young, it is a great business. We are about where hormones meet longevity and optimization. We put you in the driver's seat of your health. Wellness Center meets anti-aging.
I love that, Wellness Center meeting anti-aging, because everyone, and it's very funny. I want to talk to you about this. Everyone wants, to live longer, but they don't really think about they need their health to live longer, like the quality of life. Is that what Forever Young's all about?
It is. We really want people to live their best life. We don't want people just aging for the sake of it, to say we can make it to 100. That thing about those communities that you guys mentioned earlier, we need them to live comfortable, active, productive lives.
I totally agree. I totally agree. That tribe, a lot of these people are farmers. They're constantly moving into their 80s and 90s, right? And here we are. Most people start complaining after they're 50 about how hard manual labor is, right?
Yes.
So one of the things I really love about your company is the functional blood labs that you take for all your clients before you start working with them. Can you share with us why this is so important? And really, how is this different from the labs that you may normally request from your doctor?
That is a very good question, Andy. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on at Forever Young. Doctors take blood labs because they're looking for symptoms. They have a hypothesis. They might be trying to prove something. They might be trying to take a deeper dive, but they're very limited in scope in what they do. Their blood labs can be very expensive. We try to make sure that we pull 36 biomarkers to help people optimize their health. And you're going to hear me talk about optimization so many times. We look at vitamins, we look at hormones, we look at thyroid function, liver enzymes. All of the blood markers that we look at are ways that we truly hope to help people in their lives. Not just live longer, but again, live better.
I totally agree. For most people, when they go and see their family doctors, they will start talking about symptoms that they may be experiencing. And like you said, doctors, they usually do very basic tests. And then if a symptom feels like they need to jump down that rabbit hole, they may do a little bit further tests in a certain area, but they never do a full panel, right?
Yes.
And, one of the things that I would love for you to share to everyone is what I like telling people is like when doctors tell that your labs are normal and everything is okay, that's usually when I shake my head. I think, yeah, that just means you don't need medication yet. It doesn't mean that everything's okay. Can you get a little bit deeper into that?
It's so important to understand. We all grab those labs. We don't know what we're looking at, but we glance down them really quick. We say, okay, where does this thing say I'm high? Where does it say I'm low? At Forever Young, we really tighten those spaces up. We actually put together a health profile for you based on those 36 biomarkers. Where you're optimized, we don't even really talk about that portion. But in those areas where you're off and where we differ from what the normal labs say, which there are quite a few areas, and I know we're going to talk about hormones, that is one of those places. Right. So it's really important.
I totally agree. From where normal is like 95% of the population, they're not feeling that well, and you're part of that normal. As opposed to what you're saying, optimal, where the other top 5% are functioning at their peak performance. I think that's so important where you talk about the distinction, because that's something that I do as a functional nutrition coach too, is like when I'm looking at people's labs, is, oh, my doctor says everything is sort of cool. And I'm looking at it, well, not really, not
yes,
everything's looking too good here. You may be looking, your blood sugar is a little bit high, right? You'll be looking at your blood labs, something that's going on, your body's fighting an infection. Not everything is normal.
Right. And so important in the markers that we look at.
Exactly. So one of the touchy topics that no one really likes talking about is T levels or testosterone levels. And generally, I think men associate testosterone with, better strength, roiding out and stuff like that. They like how it feels when they're working out. But, I think people need to realize testosterone is so much more than that. Can you tell us the importance of, what testosterone is, first of all? and how important it is for men, but also more importantly, how important it is for women?
Yes, testosterone is one of the most important functions, one of the most important hormones in the endocrine system, right?
Mhm.
It's a building block for life. And I'm glad you asked the question about women as well. Testosterone is important for men and for women. It's
Mhm.
not just about building bigger muscles. For men and women, it helps with heart health later in life. It helps repair function in the body. And it's hard to find that optimization sometimes. If they're saying we're normal, that value might be 17 to 35 for women. That's not optimal. Not even being 36 is optimal. For us, for women, we look for women to be between 100 and 200 to be optimal. It clears up brain fog. It can clear up fatigue. It can clear up libido. And so many times men's tea clinics get this bad rap that it's just a libido place. It's not. They are longevity centers, but a lot of them do just look at testosterone levels. Again, we want to help optimize that. Do they have too much estrogen, which can be caused from too much testosterone? So all very great functions. Even many gynecologists, they don't look heavily enough at testosterone levels and estrogen and progesterone levels for that matter.
I love that because like a lot of people, like I said, people don't like talking about testosterone because they associate that with libido, with ED, right? Like a lot of people,
Right.
performance anxiety, whatever you want to call it. So they're sort of, they're sort of shy to talk about their T levels, but it's interesting that you bring it up. It's important for women too because it affects their libido also, from my understanding, right? They need to have sufficient testosterone in their body for libido also, right?
It does. It is so important for that and rebuilding that function, bedroom function, that
Mhm.
brain fog that I hear so much of. Not crazy memory loss, but where did I leave my keys? What was that email I was going to send when they sit down at a desk? For us, those are all big keys in women and in men. The body's ability to deal with stress has a lot to do with what the hormones are talking about.
That is so true. That's so true. And we talking about meditation. I don't like meditation to handle stress, and that is a big part of it. And a lot of people, I think, and I'm sure you've probably seen this because you mentioned brain fog, you mentioned fatigue. A lot of people, they can get actually signs of depression if their T is off or if their estrogen or progesterone is off. And what a lot of people don't realize is these things can be artificially manipulated by the products that we use at home, right? Like the products we use for skincare,
Oh,
what we washing our clothes with, what we're soaping up with, our shampoo and conditioners. They
yep.
can actually, artificially raise our estrogen and lower our testosterone, right?
It's so important. And I don't think that you stumbled into that medication. I think that was a Freudian slip. You talk about depression, and you know what doctors do? Here's some antidepressants. No, we need to look at the hormones. That depression is probably caused by the body's natural reaction to what's going on. Let's fix it at the root cause and not throw medication and pharmaceuticals at it. We need bioidentical hormones to do that.
So you just mentioned bioidentical hormones, and that sort of caught my ear. What exactly does that mean, and how is that different from other hormone therapy?
There were lots of studies that were done in the late 80s and the early 90s by the NIH, and those studies are definitely not the best. They were using pharmaceutical products as pills and not the bioidentical hormones that were available then, quite frankly, and that are available now. So there's some bad rap with bioidentical hormones and that they're cancer causing and things like that, and that is not the case. So
Yeah, I think it just one of the situations like back in the day they said smoking is bad, smoking is good for you. Now children is bad, Right. And because the science wasn't there, the studies weren't done properly, or, sometimes it may be even fudge a certain way to start promoting other product. And to me, I think what you said is just follow the science, follow the studies now to see that the bioidentical hormones. So like it's your body's recognizing it as the same as the hormones that they're producing in
It
the
is
body.
the same thing that's in there. It's not a pharmaceutical that's, knocking things out of the way and causing horrible side effects.
So typically for a client, when they're coming in, like what is your procedure? Like how did they even figure out if they need hormone optimization?
We talk to them and see what those symptoms are. So
Mhm,
many of our clients are recommended by friends. They're recommended by family members.
mhm,
They complain about those things like brain fog,
mhm,
slight memory loss, libido loss,
mhm.
just general tiredness, the
Correct.
ability to deal with stress that I mentioned before. So
Mhm,
we look at all those factors and then we talk to them and we do a blood draw right here in house, and we
mhm.
use different labs to look at those biomarkers, and we determine, are they optimized? But while we're doing that, we make sure that there aren't other things going on in the body. There aren't tumors, there aren't precancer things going on. Sometimes we have to turn patients away because we need to send them to their primary care physician, and it's such an important thing in what we do. We cannot treat certain patients, and we won't. It's not good for our reputation, and it's not good for the client.
I agree. And I love that about your facility. I was there last week, and Freddie's talking about this complete diagnostic panel. And if people know me, I'm very big into metrics. I'm measuring all my metrics on my own every 3 to 4 months. And it was hard to get a very complete panel. And Freddie said, "Hey, Andy, this is what we pull." And I said, "Oh," right away. I said, "Sign me up." And I think you just sent me my panel this morning, and to be honest, I'm a little bit afraid to look at it, but at the same time, I want to know that I want to see if what I'm doing is right and where I can improve upon, because at the end of the day, we can always improve upon our health. And the only way to see if you're moving forward or backward is having something to measure it, right?
Yes, sir. And they always say, "Doctor, heal thyself." And I know you're not a doctor, but I know you know a lot about blood work. So I'm excited for you to sit down and for us to sit down. I know you've seen our optimization, but you and I are going to run through that thing together and check it out.
I love it. I love it. So we talk about hormone optimization because that's really what's important for our health and more importantly for longevity. Because like I alluded in the beginning, we're talking about blue zones, how people are living longer. And to be honest, I think in these blue zones that they're living in, less stress, better food, less toxins, better
Toxins,
community. You
less
got your friends that
plastic.
you hang out with. It goes a long way. But why is it that general healthcare, your family doctor, why do they hardly ever talk about, hormone optimization? Why is that topic never come up?
Andy, this is one of the things that so many people don't understand is that some doctors don't have the understanding.
Mhm,
Some doctors don't have the labs, meaning they can pull them, but they can be prohibitively expensive. Their
mhm,
hospitals limit what they can pull to keep expenses down. And many are not allowed to talk about hormone health because of those studies that we mentioned before. They're not allowed to speak about hormone optimization. Normal is okay.
mhm.
Normal is not optimal. So they're
Correct.
not allowed to tell people about us. Even endocrinologists that work for major healthcare systems are not allowed to talk about it.
So what you guys do is really the next step for people that want to say, well, I'm feeling okay, but I want to take the next step. It's almost like an athlete training for a stronger body. Is like, well, now you want a better coach that's going to give you better tools to get to the next step of your fitness, right?
100%. We can live comfortable lives through our 40s, our 50s, our 60s, our 70s,
Mhm.
our business is going to be part of making people live longer. And it's a big part of why I got into this business with my business partner. So we're excited.
I love it. I love it. And I was at your facility last week and I was totally impressed because, I thought it would be just like one or two, a room to pull your blood and stuff like that. But there's so much more. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the other services that you offer there?
Yes, sir. We're so proud of what Forever Young is and the look of it, the feel of it. We control the entire environment, even down, you mentioned the smell.
Yes.
We control the smell that's in here. So we love that about it. We also do a look your best side. We have an IV lounge. So we do some of those cosmetic services. We're in the longevity business. We do age, right? Regardless of how good we optimize. But we can help with those beauty things, Botox, Dysport, fillers. And of course, because we have such conclusive vitamin and mineral labs, we do have an IV lounge available. And our cosmetic services through our esthetician. So she can do amazing work.
I love that. So not only are you basically turning back the hands of time for people to make them feel younger, you can actually help them look younger too. And you mentioned IV, like the IV, which I'm actually going to be checking out. I think I'm going to be heading over there next week. The supplementation, your vitamins and minerals, because I know you guys test that. And a lot of people, they are deficient without knowing it. And is that one of the better ways that you find that can optimize people?
It really helps that out. We offer all of the vitamins and minerals that you can imagine. We also do NAD, which are anti-aging drips.
Yes.
One thing I didn't mention that from a second ago that I would love to mention, Andy, is that we do PRP. So we can do hair restoration with PRP. We can do spot injections with PRP. And we also offer, which is platelet-rich plasma for those who don't know. I know the vampire facial is a very big thing on social media, but we can use that platelet-rich plasma to microneedle it into the surface of the face and neck. And it really helps rejuvenate skin, along with hydrofacials. So very important. Those IVs, though, they're a very important part of staying hydrated. Our bodies are 75% water. There is no one that comes into our center when they get on our in-body machines, which measures hydration, that's properly hydrated.
That is so true. So, Freddie, how is the best way we can support you? Like if someone wanted to use your services, what's the best way that we can support you? How would they look for you up?
They can give us a call, and I'd love to give you our number. It's 346-527-0500. And they can also find us on Instagram for the number 4 everyoung _KATYTX.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you for being a guest on our show today, Freddie. And, the wealth of information on the importance of hormones and how it relates to your youth and your longevity. Up next, we're going to showcase a local business with a friend of mine. Stay tuned.
Rescue, a 501c3 nonprofit, foster-based, no-kill group. Mutton Meows Rescue pulls dogs and cats from surrounding shelters in the greater Houston area. We even pick up dogs and cats abandoned on the streets. Mutton Meows Rescue is foster-based and rely on your donations to keep rescuing. To know more about us, is to know more about our furry friends and help them find their forever homes. Come visit us at Mutts and Meows Rescue on Facebook today and decide how you can make a difference.
I always love that commercial. It touches my heart, and I'm a big furry animal lover. Well, anyways, each week we like to highlight a local business that we know and trust to help build out our community. And this week we have Eli Koniska. I believe I didn't mess up his name. With Showroom Ready Homes. Hi, Eli. Can you tell us a little bit more about what Showroom Ready Homes is all about? Okay, I can't hear you, Eli.
There we go.
Perfect.
So Showroom started officially the day after Hurricane Ida in my home state, Louisiana, and that was in August of 2001.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've been in the construction industry since 2005 after Hurricane Katrina. You know, hurricanes spur people on in different ways.
Right.
But here at Showroom, we focus on being a different contractor experience than most people are used to. We understand people are innately afraid of contractor and contractor fraud because one, they always know somebody or have been taken advantage of themselves. And we understand that, and we have a lot of our processes put in place to help protect not only the customers in our contract, but just in the way we do business. And we're fortunate to be able to kind of specialize in a niche of construction that benefits homeowners in the most vulnerable time of a home disaster, whether it was a fire, a water leak, a busted pipe due to a freeze, a flood. I know in the Texas area, you've had frozen pipes, you've had floods. Unfortunately, some people deal with fires. And
Right.
those times are absolutely hectic, and they don't know the process of an insurance claim because most people only ever file 1 or 2 homeowners insurance claims. And the first time they don't know what they're doing, and the second time they've forgotten everything they learned the first time. And so what we do is we're able to come in and serve as somebody that is a professional in the industry because we speak insurance. We use the same diagnostic tools and scanning and sketching tools such as Matterport or DocuSketch. We use the same estimating systems as the insurance companies. We use Xactimate. So our prices are never just how am I feeling today? How much money do I want to make?
Right.
It's based off of industry standard pricing to where we can guarantee that it's competitive. It's going to be priced appropriately. But at the end of the day, everybody's worried about how much is this going to cost me, right? And in the insurance claim world specifically, your deductible when you work with us is the only thing that comes out of pocket.
Oh,
and
wow.
Whether you pay it to your roofer or the mitigation company or to us, or if this is unfortunately a second claim in the year, if you've already paid it, then you're good. We only do for the homeowners what we're able to get approved by the insurance company. And so
Wow.
the benefit of that is there's no surprise bills, right?
Correct.
So some people think they need to get 1, 2, and 3 different competitive bids, and they got to choose the lowest one.
Right.
Whoever wants to go to the cheapest chiropractor or nutrition coach or gas station or whatever in some sketchy part of town, nobody wants to go to that. Everybody wants the best. So what I tell our clients is I could give you $1 million estimate. If insurance only approves 10,000, that is all that we're going to ever charge. So these homeowners get the professional in their court because we know exactly what it takes to build your home back, because we've been doing this for a very long time. And we know that in the end of the day, they're going to be protected financially. Their home is going to be put back, and we're going to be looking at another referral partner there.
I love that. And, for everyone, because you shared so much information, I'm trying to process it all. For everyone out there, for helping out the community, you heard they help with you after disasters, and a lot of times your insurance is what protects you. And you can make mistakes with your insurance if you don't know what you're asking for. This is a great opportunity to get Show 'em Ready Homes to come in to talk, go through the insurance, get through it, so everything is processed properly, so your home is taken care of. Is that my understanding there?
Correct. We'll come in and help you understand the process. And so if you or somebody is dealing with an insurance claim, or you had one that happened a couple years ago, there's a statute of limitations of 2 years. We can help out with it.
Perfect.
You can go to our website. It's showroomreadyhomes.com. Call us at our main number is 1-800-968-0819, where we have an office locally in Houston, and that number is 281-853-9622.
Thank you so much for your time, Eli, and sharing how you can help the community. Don't go yet. When we come back, we're going to show you one simple step to help you build out your chronically healthy life.
Hi, everyone. This is Christy Boyd Johnson, the co-founder and CEO of the Barefoot Learning Club. We know that school can be a little scary these days. Between all the pretty horrifying stuff that's going on with bullying and shootings and whatever else is going on, our kids are having to endure this. And it results in a very rough situation. So we know a lot of parents want to homeschool, and that's why we're here. We're here to give you full support in homeschooling your children, making sure they get the foundational skills of reading, writing, and math in place so that they can literally do whatever they want. They can learn anything and do it with less stress, less time, and a lot more fun. And the best part is the results. You'll be amazed at the results that we get. So we would like to invite you to have it. If you want to talk to me personally, if you go to our website, barefootlearningclub.com, there's a Talk to Christy button. Just click it and it goes right to my calendar. Schedule a talk with me. It's a half-an-hour conversation, and I can answer your questions, and you can talk to me in person, and I can talk to you in person, and we can see if this is a good fit for you. I'm hoping it is. It's a new and different paradigm from anything you've seen before, but I think it's much better. All right, ciao for now.
Welcome back to Chronically Healthy Life. So before we wrap things up, the one action that we would want you to take today to have a chronically healthier life is to go ahead and let's check the quality of the water. All you have to do is go to ewg.org/tap water, enter your zip code, and it's as easy as that. At least you can figure out what's in your water, and that would be so informative for you to know what your next step's going to be, whether it's a softener or a filter or reverse osmosis. Do something to at least get your own water clean. And then, decide, the water that you drink daily in the safety of your home is causing, when there's toxic in it, it causes inflammation in your body, and that's not healthy. So be aware of the problem and take steps to clean up the water is a great step towards a chronically healthy life.
So next week, we have a special guest. He's a really good friend of mine, and his name is Ricky Mikey. Ricky Mikey. Seriously, that's his name. I thought it was a joke too when he told me at first. Love this guy. He's going to be talking about building a community and the importance of a tribe with like-minded people, cheering each other on, working out together to not only build their fitness, but their family values. See you all next week.
See ya.